Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about one of the things that I have found intimidates more fishermen than almost anything else in the sport. And it's really interesting to me, like for growing up in the North Country, this was something that seems so natural to me. But as I travel around the country, I find that most anglers are intimidated by this. And before I get into it, guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We are pushing 10,000 subscribers and we are going to do a big giveaway once we hit 10,000. And the only way you can be entered is all you got to do is subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you don't have a shot at winning some free prizes from my sponsors. And we're going to make it better than the 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So guys, if you watch, hit that subscriber button. There's no reason not to. So I want to remind you to do that. I also want to remind you that if you're looking to purchase tackle, head to my description, click on the realshot.com link and go to their site, buy tackle from their site. It's a local Wisconsin shop that supports tournament fishing and anglers all around. They've got hunting gear, they've got fishing gear, outdoor gear, a little bit of everything. If you use the discount code STEFAN10, you'll save 10% off your order. It helps the channel out, helps the local bait shop out as well. So, guys, what intimidates a lot of anglers out there? And it's a question that I get from subscribers all the time. And it's how and what baits to use when you approach clear water. Like, clear water is one of those things that just intimidates a ton of anglers. And when I say clear water, I'm talking gin clear water. I'm not talking 4-6 foot of visibility. I'm talking 10 plus feet of visibility, you know, legitimately what you would consider gin clear water. To me, it's extremely natural because I grew up fishing a lot of natural lakes in the North Country, and most natural lakes are generally going to be clear. They're weed filled and the weed helps filter out the water. So you get really clear water. And I personally love doing it. It's just a type of water that I love to fish. I love to be able to see fish in the area that I'm fishing because it gives me confidence that those fish are there. And I think that's what scares a lot of people is they realize that, hey, I'm seeing these fish and I'm seeing them spook away from the boat. And I got to tell you guys, yeah, you may have spooked them, but what you just identified is an area that holds fish. So now you know you can come back to that area and you can fish it slowly, fish it from a long ways away. Long casts are critical when fishing clear water, but you know where they live now. So maybe you spooked them the first time, but you can come back to that area and catch them either during peak feeding windows, or you can catch them just by, you know, downsizing your baits or using the right bait in that situation. But for me, being able to see fish in that area is critical. I love that. I love being able to go through a flat or go down a break line and be like, oh, it's 14 feet of water, but I just saw a 4-pounder cruise by. You know, and this works for largemouth, spotted bass, smallmouth, bluegill, whatever you're fishing. If you can see the fish, it's critical to know that they're there. I mean, I can think of one lake where I can go over the fish cribs that are in 12 feet of water and just visually look at it to see if there's schools of walleye in that crib. If they're not, I'm not going to fish it. If there are, I come back around evening time and you can catch walleye after walleye after walleye out of a single crib. And it's all based on me seeing it. You don't need your electronics. You don't need depth finders. You don't need anything except your eyes, and you'll know they're there. So that's the number one key to fishing clear water, guys. Long casts, and you got to use one of two types of baits, in my opinion. Finesse or super erratic, fast-moving baits. You do not want to allow the fish to get a long look at your bait. If you let them look at your bait, they get a better idea as to whether it's real or not. So if you're using a finesse bait, you want it to be very realistic. You want it to be, for the most part, natural colors, smaller in size, and something that the fish just cannot not eat, right? So you don't necessarily want to use big, giant creature baits. Instead, you want to go with something smaller. You know, one of the best clear water baits is a small stick bait like this 4-inch Berkley General. Absolute favorite of mine, the 4-inch and the 5-inch. You know, if I'm fishing weed holes, I'll throw maybe the 5-inch. Or if I'm fishing sand flats for smallmouth, maybe I'll throw the 4-inch. But I'll use them either weightless, Texas rigged, or I'll throw them on a NACO rig, with a weight. And either of those styles is an absolute must-have in my opinion. Just one of the best clear water baits you can find. The next up is a drop shot, guys. You want a drop shot. This is a Berkley flatworm. Great all-around bait. It gets so much talk about for smallmouth. Works great on spotted bass, works great on largemouth as well. But the key here is a drop shot. A drop shot is a really good natural presentation bait that works wonders in clear water. It's probably one of the most tied on clear water baits by people that, are fishing clear water on a routine basis. The next is some sort of small swim bait. In this case, one of my favorites is the Berkley Power Swimmer. I like the Kitex as well in the 2.8 or 3.3 size. Rig either of them on a Dirty Jigs Matt Steffen guppy head jig head, and you're good to go. You throw that bait out, just work it slow through the water column. You'll get tons of bites on it. It's a phenomenal clear water presentation. Those guys are my baits that I really like to throw from more of a finesse presentation. To go the other end of the spectrum, I'm looking at two main categories of baits that will generate lots of bites. They need to be erratic, move fast, cover a lot of water. And they're baits that get strikes from fish because they don't get a really good look at the bait and they don't really know what it is, and it's drawing that erratic action that's generating, that it's triggering them just to bite. In the two categories, the first being, where do I got one here? The jerk baits. So whatever jerk bait you like to throw, this is a Megabass Vision 110, one of my favorites. I like the Berkley Cutter Minnows. I like the Smithwick Rogues, the Rapala X-Wraps I enjoy sometimes. Really, whatever bait you like to throw, whatever jerk bait, you want to work it extremely quickly, extremely fast, lots of jerks. You don't want to give them a huge great look unless you're fishing really cold water. If you're fishing cold water, work in your slow pauses. But this time of year, jerk baits work great. You just want to keep it moving. It generates strikes because the fish cannot hold back from hitting it. So a jerk bait's huge. The next category of baits as well that you gotta have tied on in clear water is a topwater, a fast-moving topwater bait. This is the Berkley Cane Walker, one of my favorites. If you like throwing like a torpedo, Zara Spook style bait, anything that can be walked quickly along the surface that makes a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, will generate strikes. In clear water, the fish cannot get a good look at that. They just see something zooming across the surface, and that's what will generate strikes all day long. Don't be afraid to throw it when it's bright sunny skies. You'll generate bites all day long, because you got to realize clear water fish, for the most part, are very visual feeders. So they know, their peak time to feed is when the sun is out. They can see everything really well. It may mean they don't want to come up and commit. A lot of times they'll come up and roll on your bait, but what do? You follow up with, say, your NACO rigged 4-inch general, and a lot of times that's how you get them to bite. So guys, those baits are key baits. One other one to talk about here too is just your spy bait. This is a Berkley Spy. You can get the Duo Realis, makes really good ones. Those are the two versions I'll use because they both have really good wobble on the fall. But a spy bait is a great clear water bait as well. Again, it's one of those baits that gets so much talk about for smallmouth, but it catches largemouth and spotted bass too. They are great clear water baits. So guys, don't let clear water intimidate you. If anything, use the clear water to your advantage. Let it show you where the fish are living. Let it show you what the cover looks like. You can see the weed lines. You can see a rock. You can see, all different things that are in the water because it's clear. The fish live there. They got to eat regardless of it being clear or muddy. Don't let it scare you off the water. Use it to your advantage. Either go with a finesse presentation or go with something really erratic, and those will get you more bites. I'm telling you guys, it's not intimidating. So get yourself some of these baits, get out on the water, catch some good clear water fish. Clear water, a lot of times clear water fishing is better in the summer than fishing dirty, muddy water. It just seems like the fish feed better in clear water to me. So guys, head out there. If there's other baits that you really like to use in clear water, throw it in the comment section so that other people watching can find out what works as well, and we can learn from each other. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. New tips and tricks come out every day.